Let this be a lesson. The $40 tire change at Cycle Gear might be worth it.
100%.
I just bought a second motorcycle today. She's supposed to have oil on her.
It should be there.
Hey!
You can see it was running really, really rich. Flow gets lower. Yeah.
Muscle.
Hi there, I'm Sarah, and I'm trying to restore a 2002 Royal Enfield Bullet 500. And since I have no background in motorcycles, I want to give a huge thank you to Aaron, who's showing me the ropes on how to restore older motorcycles. By now, you've likely seen the video where we got Heri running. It was very exciting. But in order to ride Heri, sort of need tires that aren't flat. And in the last video, you probably saw that we were not successful in changing a tube tire ourselves. And by the end of this video, you'll also see that we were not successful with round 2. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably the hardest part of the project so far and very demoralizing. But I think it's important to show this kind of content when you are restoring a motorcycle for newbies like me who want to see the realities of how hard is it to do this hobby. And I think it's important to be genuine and honest about when things are easy and when things are not easy. And in this case, it was not easy for us. But I do need to just reiterate for some people in the back, maybe hiding behind their keyboards. I am not an expert in motorcycles. Neither is Aaron. We are both just two engineers who enjoy tinkering. And if you're looking for perfect instructions on exactly how to do something for a motorcycle, you maybe should keep searching. This is not the channel for that. Instead, what I do promise to provide for you is an account of how we're going to restore this motorcycle, what we learned from it, and you can take that information however you want. If you want to try it the same way, great. If you think you have a much better, smarter way, I'm happy to be part of your innovation process. All of that's awesome. I think it's time, though, that we talk about today's video, where it's how do you know when to cut your losses and move on in a hard step of a project? When you start a big project, you may find moments in it that are very difficult. And that just means that you've picked a project that's stretching you, helping you grow as an individual and testing your capabilities. It doesn't feel great in the moment, but I promise that it's your chance to grow and learn from those moments of frustration and possibly failure. And even in those moments of failure, there's probably still something to learn from it. So it's still good to do, even if you fail. In this case, I gave Aaron and I 2 chances to try to change the tube tires ourselves. And I did want to give us about a week in between the first attempt and this attempt so that we could do some Googling, find other people who've done it before, get tips and tricks, as well as wait for another tube tire to arrive in the mail and maybe get any new tools or new tire spoons that we wanted. So let's see how that went.
We'll try this again, but this time will be...
Oh, jeez. I gotta...
So just make sure that you're not pinching the tube like last time, because we lost patience and we're hungry and frustrated. Try not to work when you're hungry and frustrated. Small bites, just make sure you're not pinching the tube. Push it in.
Well, if I remember correctly, this wasn't too bad at the beginning. It was once you got to the halfway point that it didn't want to seat.
See, this is the part where shit gets difficult.
Yeah. We're almost there.
Yeah, my suggestion is we should hit this and then hopefully slowly move it. Because if you try to go here,
Yeah.
you're just leveraging too much. So like so. Again, knees. Try to push it to the best of your ability.
It's okay. You got it. Nice.
Small bites.
Okay. See, now there's hardly any room between the wheel and the tire.
Yeah.
It's like the last ditch effort. There you go.
So
Now we find out if we're fucked. Put some air in her.
hold on.
Get it, Aaron? That's why he's in charge of the air. Oh.
So fuck, it's leaking. Oh no, I think that's a
I don't
bead
think
seat.
so. I think that thing is slowly leaking. Like the constant sound, I don't think it's this.
Typically the beads lock and sounds like gunshots.
Well, I don't think it's quite full right yet.
It's leaking.
It's going up there. Yeah, I see it. All the bubbles. Why is it leaking?
Is it because might have pinched it, you know. It's leaking. Right here. Don't know why it's leaking. Yeah, she's leaking pretty badly too.
So, like you saw, we did our Googling, we got some new specialized tools, and the tire spoons are way better than the other tire spoons I got. But we still can't hold air in that tire. Even though it honestly went way better this round than it did the first round, I think that Aaron and I were more patient because we were fresh on the project. We weren't at the end of a 4-hour workday. It just kind of all fell apart near the end, I think. It still is very difficult to get a tube tire to freaking go into where it should go. While Aaron wanted to keep working and defeat that tube tire that was not obeying, I really thought it was time to move on. But in order to do that in a project like this where you're working with a partner, it's important to have the conversation and listen to each other and make the call on whether or not now's the right time to move on or should you try again. And in this case, we were both frustrated, and it was the first time in our project that we disagreed on what we should do next. I don't understand. Like, you didn't ever stab through.
No, didn't seem like it.
Well, do we get a little paint pen and mark which direction the tire should be spinning for the wheel? Get that one off and go to cycle gear?
We just take this to cycle gear.
The real way, how to get your tires changed.
I suck.
No. I mean, it's not an easy thing, and I don't have any experience in this, let alone understanding.
Yeah.
We can try one more time if you want. Or we can bring this as is to cycle gear with a little paint pen saying which direction that thing should travel.
Yeah.
Same thing with that one.
Yeah.
And then do something else.
We could. I gotta go to cycle gear tomorrow in any case.
Yeah. I can give them a call and see if they get time for it.
We want to try pulling this.
Do we have to give it to him without the tube in it?
No, we can just give it to
give
them.
it to him as is, man.
No, I was thinking if we wanted to try this again.
It's up to you. The upside of not is that I would continue to have my spare in a worst case scenario, but I have no confidence that I'll be able to change my tire.
Right. Because you could see it leaking.
Yeah, it leaks out of the spokes,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought that tape was supposed to help with, first
That
of all.
tape helps with puncturing
Oh.
of the tube. It held air till I put it at the very end, and then like it just lost air. So I don't know if like the last part where I put it, if it shit itself. I was so careful this time.
Yeah.
I really was. So, what time is it? 9:45.
I vote we take the panniers off and the seat off.
Okay.
Those seem like attainable, easy things.
Yeah. Yes, let's do that. In general, I do think that Aaron and I do work really well together. He's got the perseverance, strength, and general know-how to keep this project going. And I have the big picture plan with a timeline, a fresh perspective without a lot of experience, and I enjoy coming up with creative solutions to problems. In this case, Aaron really wanted to continue working on this tube tire to defeat it, put it in its place, which I understand and respect, but I was done. We had done our 2 tries, and I was ready to move on and try something new in this project. In general, I do feel that I've learned from these 2 failures, and I'm interested and willing to change my own tire in the future if I get the chance to. But for Heri, it was about time to move on. When you come to a standstill in a project, I think it's important to try to keep a unbiased perspective of where you are. And one way that I like to do that is to keep a pros and cons list of what you will achieve by continuing to go down this path and what you trade off by doing so. For example, I'm sure that Aaron and I would have felt immense joy and pride in getting that tube tire to hold air. But the cons of what we were trading off felt kind of big to me at the time. We weren't sure what we really even did wrong, so I didn't feel like I really knew what we should change in a 3rd try. We would need to order more tube tires, and I didn't know if we would need to order new tools as well. And at that point, the cost of this step of the project was approaching the same costs as taking the wheel and the tire to Cycle Gear to get a professional to just change the tire for us. And honestly, at that point, we were both very frustrated, and my confidence of us being successful was pretty low. And so I was able to convince Aaron that at this point, it was worth cutting our losses, taking the tires and wheels to Cycle Gear, and moving on to do something else with our day. And in Heri's case here, outsourcing the wheels was the right choice for us. As a suggestion, just a side note, if you do a similar step where you take your tires and wheels to a professional or anyone else to get it changed for you, it's worthwhile taking the time to mark on the tire and wheel somewhere the direction of rotation. It gave me peace of mind knowing that a stranger who's never seen my bike before is gonna know which way the tire needs to be mounted. And they did say thank you for doing that. So just a little tip and trick for that. In general, I hope that this kind of conversation shows you the realities of what it's like to actually come across a difficult situation and what steps maybe you should think through in order to decide if this is the right time to cut your losses or not. If you found this helpful, or if you are interested in seeing what else we do with Heri here, then I hope that you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any other suggestions on, other things to think about in a scenario like this, please leave them in the comments below and help the rest of us newbies out. But we look forward to seeing what we do in the next video, and I hope until then that you ride safe. All right, bye-bye.